So, welcome to the Woman Embodiment Workshop recording. Even if you couldn't make it in the group setting, you will still have the full experience of the workshop with this recording. So, I will give you a little introduction and the guided grounding and meditation to really start into this work. And then with the rest, you will go through all the mystery teachings, the knowledge that I'm sharing, and also later doing the embodiment practice. So in the email, there is also the playlist. It's a Spotify playlist. And when you're entering the embodiment practice, you just start the playlist and then you let the playlist go through by the playlist itself and just move with the music from the playlist. And then at some point, it will get slower. And then you can get back to the recording or let the recording still work in the background when I'm saying some things to the movements. So you can really tap into your body. You can tap into the music in your own environment, in your own safe space, in your own time. So yeah, welcome to the Woman Embodiment Workshop. Thank you for your trust and thank you for being open to this path, which is already a sign of your consciousness or of the readiness of your own journey with yourself and with the inner worlds you are having. To be open to the path of the divine feminine, of the dark feminine, to tap into the darkness, to tap into the darker unconscious reals, to really confront yourself with your fears, your blockages, limiting beliefs, and really come into full liberation as a woman. And all the teachings to the dark feminine, to the embodiment. What does embodiment mean? What does dark feminine mean? What does even the difference between dark feminine and dark goddess? These are all the things that I will present later in the teaching. But now, welcome to the workshop for yourself. So find a safe, nice space where you are private, no one can disturb you. Maybe you put on some candles, some incense, so that you really feel safe in your space. And then find a comfortable seat where you can sit the next minutes. So a cross-legged seat, for example, would be good. And then you can start to slowly touch your legs and really come into contact with yourself. I don't know, maybe you had a long day, you make this workshop in the evening, or you start your weekend day with it. Doesn't matter, but you come back into your body, to yourself. This is now the time to embody yourself, embody you as a woman. And for that, we need to come into the body. We need to come into the present moment. So just start to connect with your body for a moment and then slowly close your eyes. Straighten your spine. Your head, your crown is open to the sky. You feel your sit bones on the ground. And then taking a deep breath in and out. And in. So really come into the present moment. Come back to yourself, to your inner landscape. And just take a couple of deep breaths through your nose, in and out. And really feel your sit bones on the ground. And now visualize that you have roots growing down from your sit bones down into the earth. So with the next breathing in and breathing out, the roots are growing down into the earth to really ground into Mother Earth, into the space, into yourself. So deep breath in and out, roots down into the earth. And really feel your sit bones, feel the earth. Mother Earth is holding you, carrying you. Give yourself a few moments of your breaths to tap into your grounding. Also, you can make sounds to release tension you have in your body. Whatever is there, whatever you need to release. And then connect with your heart center, your Anahata chakra. Really feel into your heart. How does your heart feel today? Really feel in your energy center, in your chest, your heart chakra. Breathe into it deep through the nose, in and out. And connect your heart. And then we want to connect the heart and the womb. So take a deep breath in, collect all the energy of your heart, and send the energy down into the earth, into your womb. Breathing in from the earth, from your womb up to your heart. And down. So we really want to get the connection between our most powerful centers as a woman, the heart and the womb, where we connect to our truth, to our Shakti, to our powerhouse. Deep breath in and out. And then with the next breathing in, collect all the energy down from the earth, from the roots, all the way up through your heart, through your third eye, through your crown, to the sky. And then breathing out from the sky, through your crown, through your third eye, through your heart, down into the earth. And we are creating that energetic line with our breath. Breathing in from the earth, through the womb, the heart, third eye, crown, up to the sky. And breathing out from the sky, crown, third eye, heart, down to the earth. So make this in your own timing with a couple of breaths. We really want to come into connection to ourselves in the center and to Mother Earth below and Father Sky above, to really be present in this very moment with ourselves, our body, our inner world, and also with the outer. And take your focus back into your heart. Feel what is alive for you. After you come into your body and into these subtle energies, what do you feel? What do you observe in yourself? Maybe some curiosity about the upcoming workshop, maybe some nervousness or some fears. Whatever is there, allow it to be, just observe it. Whenever you're ready, blink your eyes open, slowly come back into this space and connect with your intention. Why are you here? Why are you doing this workshop? Why are you opening up to this path? What is your intention? What is your why? So be with that energy, with that openness through the workshop, and allow it to sink in. Allow it to receive whatever you are able to receive in that very moment. And it is a lot of information that I will share, and it is a lot of already walked path. So whatever resonates with you and whatever will land in your consciousness will take place and expand from that place where you are in that very moment. And everything else will be stored in your subconscious. And at some point when you're ready for it, you will come back to that wisdom. So if you're not getting everything what I'm sharing, if it's at some point too much because it's already a lot that you're taking in, just be present with yourself, be present with everything that is, and to know that you will receive whatever you need to receive in that very moment, and everything else will unravel in the moment when it's time. So really give yourself patience, compassion, and also be aware that maybe some intense emotions can come up, or through the practices, a lot will maybe get stirred up in your system. So be aware of that and take care of yourself after the workshop. And yeah, you're welcome to reach out if you have any questions. And we will start now with the introduction, where I present myself, a little bit about my story and my past, to make you understand where this work is coming from and why I'm presenting it the way I do, and why I'm pretty familiar with the past. So enjoy. So yeah, so amazing that everyone was presenting themselves. That's already a really great step to be more visible, being in a space with women. And so, of course, even if every one of you knows me a little bit, I want to share still a little bit about my story, a little bit about this path, why I'm doing this path, how I came to this path, to make you feel safe in the space. Because yeah, it is, I'm presenting this theme, and I observed the past weeks that a lot of women, and I already had this last year in Pachamama when I did rituals between just like private ritual, that some women, they really get scared. They're afraid of energies. They're afraid of darkness. And so I just want to share a little bit my background to give an understanding that I'm really pretty familiar with darkness. Yeah, so as I said, I know darkness my whole life, I would say, and darkness is a big theme that it is just part of life, but also we can lose ourselves in darkness pretty easily. And from a young age, like since I was a child, I was struggling with mental health issues. I was really depressive. So there's a big background of trauma in my life already. And still, even with all this darkness and all these mental issues I had, I was still a really expressive child. So I was really, really open. I think it is like I was already really in tune with nature, with my body, with my expression. So I was never really a shy kid. I was really expressive in my dance, singing, being. And pretty early in that age, I got a lot of feedback from the world that it is too much, it is not welcome, it is in the eyes of some people, it was not accepted in the fullness that I was as this woman, as this kid, as this girl. I was presenting this fullness to the world in a curiosity, in an expressive way, what is our nature. And it was really pretty early, like mirrored, this is not okay, this is what we are not accepting. So in a pretty early stage, I was putting all these intense expressions, intense emotions, all these desires, all that is naturally in my being, I was putting it like in a little box, shutting it down into the darkness, and rejected a lot of authentic parts in myself. And I mean, every one of you is right now on a discovery of themselves, already in a healing journey. So we already know like the authentic self and our repressed parts. But all these repressed parts is exactly what then in the end lays in the shadow. And there is a lot of big topic about shadow work, and I'll go a little bit into that later. But right now it is about the womanhood. So it's all about these aspects of being a woman. And so there were a lot of things of the feminine way of being that was not accepted by the outside. So I suppressed it. So, and every one of you is familiar with the feminine and the masculine energy. So the masculine energy is really independent. It is really doing, driven, protecting, really strong, really in a shell. So this was all the energy that I was taking through my life. And my mother was a woman. We were just women in our family. All the men were running away or dying. So it was every woman was really on their like really to survive, we needed to be this strong, independent woman. So this was the picture I was adapting. This was the story I was taking and putting all the authentic expression down into the shadow. And some of you maybe are familiar with shadow work. So the shadow, or everything that we suppress in ourselves, it is not just gone. It is stored in the shadow realms. And at some point, it is influencing us. It is coming out in some way or another. And in the end, if we store too much or shove too much down, it will fire back in a physical way, in a mental way, in some way, at some point in our lives, it will fire back. And so my big fire back of that was 2019, when I had a big burnout after being career driven. I wanted to make money, I wanted success, I wanted this good status. Like everything that I was presenting to the outside world was all for the outside. It was all just for being loved, being liked, because this is the picture that at some point we get, like, these are the parts, we love you, these are acceptable, and we don't love you, these are not acceptable. So everything that's not acceptable is putting down into the shadow. And as all the natural expressions of my being are really feminine, and the world, the social norms, and also in my family line, it's really something that was not accepted. So I can really say from a point right now, it's a perfect, huge example of the social norms, the energies of the masculine and feminine, because I was rejecting being a woman my whole life. I was wishing to be a man. I just had male friends. I was wearing for a long time like male clothes. So I was rejecting everything that has to do with being a woman, like being emotional, being sensitive, being soft, being sexual. Everything was completely suppressed. And with this burnout, everything really came to the surface and overwhelmed me with intense trauma flashbacks, survival mode. And I was living in that for many, many years. It was a really, really dark phase in my life. So I can say I'm really familiar with living the darkness, or like suppressing the darkness, and also the fire back of it. And so I was experiencing myself, what can happen if we are not looking into these areas of our lives. So during that time, I did a lot of therapy. I did trauma therapy. So I was learning a lot about the psychological side and deep psychology, somatic, and all the things the Western world has to offer. And at some point, I found my teacher, which is a woman, a witch. She was teaching Kundalini yoga, Tantra, a lot of feminine mysteries, and also a lot of the Celtic and Egypt and Sumerian and Lemurian knowledge, like all these worlds, teaching and bringing them together and helping me to work with this energy, work with all these suppressed sides. So from her, I learned, like in 2 years in her temple, a lot of teachings, a lot of practices, a lot of wisdom. So this is not something that I was just collecting the past years and now I'm teaching it or something like that. It is really a lifetime journey I'm on. Like I'm in therapy, or like in that field of psychology and my awareness for many, many years, like since I'm like 14, 15. And then through my own healing journey, I was reading a lot of things, studying a lot of things. And then these 2 years in the temple of my teacher, like for 2 years, every day I was like hiding myself, isolating, and every day doing hours and hours of practices, Kundalini yoga, meditation, rituals, energy work, retreats. So there I collected a lot of practices, a lot of wisdom that I'm now I've implemented for years into my life. And now I realize it's time to share these, because these are all the tools or the knowledge that we can handle all these intense emotions, all these suppressed emotions, all this confusion we have around ourselves, all this I feel scattered, I feel lost, I don't have connection to myself, all these themes that we are facing right now in our lives at some point as we are in the process of our own individuation, of finding back to ourselves and finding back to our womanhood. Yeah, these are all the tools we can use, and I want to share. And it's really difficult to share it in portions because I know my brain has a capacity that's a little bit a lot sometimes. So for others, it is maybe a little bit less. So I try to give little portions about this knowledge. So yeah, I hope this was not a too big portion of the story. I really, wow, I put it shrinked it so tiny, tiny, tiny. But yeah, there's a lot more to share about this topic, about darkness and going into these realms. And so I just wanted to share that so that you know that I have the expertise, I have the experience, and I have the knowledge that I was studying for a really long time in a really deep way in my own journey. And also, I'm coming from a line from my mother and my grandmother that were like into the witch path. And both of them were at some point rejecting that path because they were feared out of the darkness. And the past years, I had many experiences, and also with my teacher, a lot of understandings about the darkness to really understand where is the line, where I'm tapping into my own darkness, where I'm tapping into the realms that are my subconscious, where I can work with, and where I'm touching something that is really going into a dark direction. So I'm really feeling this urge to educate about coming back as a woman into wholeness, collecting all these hidden parts, connecting with the darkness. This is one of our most powerful tools for transformation and healing, and being aware to not tap into other darknesses. And I just want to say beforehand, all this like these stories about evil is also to understand the devil or the evil is never in the outside, it's everything inside. So everything we are facing is we can face inside of us. So this is a workshop about connecting with these dark sides inside of us, connecting with these demonized devil sides, bring them into the visible realms, and to understand we are never bad. We are never bad. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be suppressed. We are whole and safe to express us fully. So yeah, I hope that was a quick, short overview of my path a little bit. And before I continue sharing the presentation with all the knowledge, let me just quickly check with Francie. Okay, so I will share the presentation now. I already sent it you the ebook, but yeah, I go with the presentation into. Let me see. Here. So maybe you let me know if you can see it. Maybe make a thumbs up if you all can see it. Good, good. Yeah, okay. I want to full screen. Yeah. Okay. So I still see you on the side. Okay. Quick deep breath. So, Woman Embodiment, that's the name of the workshop. And I don't know if every one of you knows what is embodiment or what does embodiment even mean. So embodiment is when we bring our inner world into our expression to the outer. So it is about connecting everything we are receiving from the mind, everything that is in our intellectual, like I'm sharing wisdom now, I'm sharing teachings with you, so you'll receive it with the mind. And then the embodiment happens if you integrate this wisdom and you embody it and bring it into the expression to the outer world. So in terms of the feminine side, it is about not just reading about the feminine mysteries, not just reading about shadow work, not just knowing there is these topics I have issues with women. It is about bringing it into the expression into your life. So in this workshop, we are tapping through somatic exercises into our body. We are tapping into the parts of ourselves where we feel restriction, where we feel blockages, judgment, everything that is holding us back into fully stepping into being a woman and connecting with other women. And we are feeling into these areas to understand where we need integration. So embodiment is sharing the teachings with you, sharing wisdom with you, and then going into the somatic exercises that you have the knowledge about this path, you have the knowledge about the wisdom, and then you feel it in your body, feel where you need to integrate, where do you need your inner work to go deeper or liberate yourself. And embodiment of the femininity is transforming the human form into spirit. And all of you know, we women have this gift and capacity to be really connected to the spirit realms just by our nature. And for a woman to feel completely safe in her body, which is the main topic about coming into an embodiment, coming into expression, we need to feel safe. And in order to feel safe as a woman, we must know, trust, and ensure that our power, our passion, and our pleasure, and our sexual essence belongs only to us. And in a world where women get abused, raped, and suppressed to the maximum, this is one of the biggest challenges to really come into inner safety with all these topics we have to face, that we can really completely embody all these things. So if my nervous system is freaking out because I'm so threatened by speaking up in this group of women, just pushing me through it will maybe not help me. I need more guidance. I need more deep dive in integration to feel safe enough or have the resources and the tools to overcome these challenges. And I really love this. There is no standard in the world that requires her to prove her worth. It is the understanding that we as women have nothing to do to be worthy. Just by existing, we are fully worthy. We are the birth temples of life. Just by us existing on this earth, we are already fully worthy. And in a patriarchal society, which is totally masculine driven, we are so shaped and conditioned to think we have to do or look or perform in a way to be worthy. And we hide if we feel we cannot keep up with that. And it's all about shredding all these layers and coming into full self-expression as a woman. And now, what does the dark feminine even mean? Because I know there is so much distortion about the dark feminine, where people immediately think it is about devil's work, it is the dark, it is something we have to fear. And there is really the big difference between the dark feminine and the feminine shadow. So the feminine shadow is everything that we suppress and that is maybe to be feared in some way or another. But the dark feminine is an archetypal energy. So it is the energy we can tap into, and represents all the hidden, suppressed, and rejected parts of us as a woman. And it is also a really deep, untamed, powerful nature. It is a primordial force. And the energies is really chaotic, really destructive, really in the self-empowerment, desire, anger, rage. So it is a really intense energy, but it is also part of energies we feel as women, and it's part of being a woman. So, but these are really rejected by the society, and that's why they have this shadowy shadowy misbelief around. So it's nothing that is in nature, the shadow. It is made by the outside or because we think it is bad, so we have to suppress it. But it is an archetypal energy which is helping us to connect to these hidden parts. So it is in the Jungian psychology, it is a facet of the shadow of the anima, which is waiting for healing through recognition. And I'm really deep into Jungian psychology and all his teachings. And so I will go into this in other programs deeper because it's a really, really deep, deep field. But just a quick overview to understand, we have in our psyche parts. And one part is the anima, and the anima represents how we view like a feminine role. And the anima is shaped by all the feminine roles we had in our lives, which is mostly our mother, our grandmother, but also shaped through personal experiences, social situations, and anything. So it is the shadow of this feminine picture that waits to be recognized. And this is already saying a lot, just to not be still in the shadow, but to be recognized, to be looked at. It is what this energy, this archetypal energy has. So in the moment you are in the space right now, you are ready to be open to the dark feminine. You are ready to jump into it, to connect with it. And you already overcame the illusion of the society that it's something to fear, is something negative, is already a big, big step in your consciousness, in your awareness, as in your own process as an individual and as a woman. So this is already showing that you are ready to connect with this energy, that there is something inside of you ready to be seen, ready to be recognized, and to be healed. So just to give that back to all of you, that you can really see this as a beautiful expansion of your way to authenticity, that you're open to this energy. And as I said, the shadow is all the suppressed parts, and the dark feminine needs integration to become whole. And the difference between the dark feminine and the dark goddess is the dark goddess is the divine embodiment of the dark feminine. So we are working with the dark feminine energy to tap into this expression of the dark feminine, which is chaotic, destructive, wild, untamed, lustful, passion, desire, anger. So we are getting in touch with all these feelings, all these parts, all these energies. And then we go into our journey with her, liberating her, and then we are coming in to the divine embodiment of the dark feminine through the dark goddess. And the dark goddess is also a spiritual and mythology being, which represents the deeper cosmic principles of the feminine. So it is a beautiful archetype. It is a beautiful energy. It's a beautiful spirit we can connect with on this journey with the dark feminine. So we have to understand the dark feminine is the energy we tap into. We are like diving into the underworld, into our subconscious, into our dark parts with the dark feminine. We are touching, we are going with her. And then we are using the dark goddess in this path to have an guidance, to have someone on our side that is really helping us through this path. And she is also challenging us, the dark goddess. She is a spirit. She is a goddess. She is challenging us to really face our deepest fears, lead us through the dark night of the soul, help us confront all the things we are fearing in life. And it's really helping us to overcome the powerfulness. And the dark feminine archetype is also enables us to have an individual transformation. And we are all individuals, and we are all women, and we all have an individual journey to ourselves, and we have all an individual journey as women. So it enables us to go this path of an individual journey. And I think what is the most beautiful part about this work, why I connected in my life through it, because it is the most free path of yourself as woman and as being. Because the dark feminine is exactly the opposite from everything that the social structure accepts and what we know. Because everything wants to be safe and understood and really structured and clear. This is how our mind feels safe. This is how, in this world full of survival, we think we are safe if we are playing on that side. So I know what the light is. I know what this is. I know how I have to present myself. I know how I have to be. But the dark feminine, it is unpredictable. It is chaotic. It is destructive. We have no idea. We have to dive deep and really know ourselves, find out what we are, what we want, what we desire, what we need to liberate, and then stepping into a life that is in a full free expression fitting to us. There is no script, there is no way, there's no path that is already walked. It will be your own. So the path with the dark feminine is the most free and liberated path you can go, because there is no rules. It is a full path of discovery in your own individual imprints you had in your lives and in past lives and in your mother line. So it is really about this super free expression, which is super fearful to the world, because it's something they don't know. And what we don't know, we fear. So yeah, it is a really wild aspect of the self. And the dark feminine is represented through the dark moon, the dark soil, the dark night, chaos, destruction, death, rebirth, transformation, like all these themes that are in the dark, the void. But in order to grow, or in order to seed something, we need the dark soil, or the dark night gives us the rest that we need to rise again when the sun comes up. So the dark is an important part in our own lives, in our own beings. And to give a deeper understanding of how easily this shadow is created. So if you are a woman, for example, like me, I was growing up with it is important to be the independent woman. You have to be a strong, independent woman. And other women will tear you down. You are not safe around other women. You have to make sure that you're safe. So you stay around men that admire you, and you are still strong and independent and reject everything. And then you will be safe. So the light energy is, for example, from the light feminine, is the energy of being in community, being in connection, being in a nurtured energy. And this was labeled by my mom as threatening. So I was putting that into my shadow. So I was presenting the strong, independent, I don't need other women, I don't need community. I need to make sure I always can lean on myself. So I'm rejecting all these things. So even the light aspects, even the social accepted forms of the feminine can be your shadow. So the shadow is not just the things that is labeled negative. It can also be the positive sides that you reject because of your personal experience, because of your family, because of whatever. So to understand that the shadow can really create it by everything that you suppress. Yeah, and here is just on the screen. I really liked it from that woman. The dark goddess is powerfully raw. It's like raw. There is no cover, no mask. It's raw. It's chaotic. It is the full expression. And she is fierce transformation, which can be totally scary. It's not a comfortable place to be in the part of transformation. And as I shared a little bit before, in my life journey, I was facing this moment in my life where the burnout was the physical expression of the starving of my soul. So I was physically not able to step into my life anymore, or mentally, I was not able to continue the life I had with all the suppression. And then in this time where everything was falling apart, I was in so much pain, and I was in so much like, why is this happening? I'm losing everything. I'm not able anymore to do what I always did. And at that time, it was a big time of chaos and confusion and pain and suffering. And in that time, I started to do yoga and have my incense and my little crystals. And I was in this cute light spirituality. And I received out of different synchronicities Kali. Kali just came to me. She just came to me all the time. Kali, 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 Kali. So I started really naturally to have this pull with Kali. And Kali was, in the end, the goddess I was working with the past years to really go into this death, into the destruction of my life that was constructed on my ego, constructed on my scattered self, but not my true self. So Kali was the goddess. She came and she was like, no, girl, you cannot any longer get all your self-worth taken by your being a workaholic. Nope. You cannot take it from all the men you want to be admired. She was like destroying my life for years. And I was there and I was like, oh my God, what is going on? What is happening? At some point I understood it is that needed phase in order to step now into a life. I mean, right now I'm living in Costa Rica. I live myself out in the most free expressions I can have. And this is the path that the dark feminine and the dark goddess were leading me. They were on my side where I was facing all the dark feminine energies, all my shadows. I'm still doing it, of course, but the dark goddess was on my side. For years it was Kali. It changed then over the years to Lilith, but it was Kali that really helped me to understand it is for my higher good. And in moments of chaos and confusion, we are just afraid. We just want to run away. We want to scream. We want to go back to the comfortable. So it is a really, really powerful, powerful, intense force. So I understand that it is not a light topic. This is never what I would advise it or advertise it as a light topic, but it is not a topic to reject, because then the more we reject our shadows, the bigger it grows. I was the master in rejecting my shadows. I was the master of being totally full in my ego, in the maximum where it was breaking it completely. So I really know the force of the shadow. I really know the backfire of it. That's why I'm so in this teaching, because at some point in our lives, it will come. And if it's not in our mental conscious way, it will come through the physical sickness or to the mental sickness, or we will be stuck in the same pattern again and again and again. And we will loop around, loop around, loop around. And I was looping around so many times that I was suffering to the degree where I was like, okay, I have two options. Either I will kill myself or I will do everything I can. And this is the force and the energy of the dark goddess, which is like, no, you fight, you roar, you scream, you express, you liberate, you let it all out, you strip it all away, you go full in. So it is an intense force. Okay, yeah, I was having it in the ebook. I didn't make too many slides here, but as I already said, there is like the light and the dark feminine. Oh, I think some people got kicked out. Let me just quickly check the chat. Everything. Someone maybe was writing in the chat about something. Nice, Joy, that you pulled out the Kali card. Okay. Yeah, seems like Manon is kicked out. Yeah, let's see. Maybe she will come back in. Okay, I will just continue. So sharing the screen again. So yeah, we have the light feminine aspects and we have the dark feminine aspects. So the light feminine is like being the caretaker, the nurturer as woman, being in community, being in service for the family, being really in this loving and caring energy that we as women carry as a natural energy inside of us. And these are all the social accepted energies of the feminine. And then we have the dark feminine, which is, as I already said, it is really chaotic, really destructive. It is really transformative. It is passion, desire, rage, anger, transformation, the wild, the void. So all these energies. And I was already a little bit giving little hints about the tribe that I was visiting in Costa Rica a few weeks ago. which is a really hidden tribe that is starting now to open up their wisdom because they understand it is time to share it. But this is a tribe completely led by women. So the wisdom is just passed down from grandmother to granddaughter. And then the daughter has all the wisdom and is leading the tribe or leading a special area of the tribe. So the whole tribe is led by women, but the men are the protective tribe, taking care of the woman, defending the woman, doing the work and all the things. So the man is really that protective energy, and the women are the leading visionary energy in this tribe. So it was a beautiful energy to be in the primordial jungle, being in the spiritual center, receiving all this knowledge from them. And one person was sharing the philosophy of the Pri tribe, and I was showing here on the presentation that all their buildings, I have it here shown, so their buildings are all in the triangle shape. And their philosophy is like this, I don't know the English name, Raute, route shape. So we are in the middle on the earth realm. This is where we are as humans. And then we have different dimensions up to the sky where the cosmic intelligence is coming, where the grandfather is. And then we have the underworld, which goes down, which is the realm of the grandmother. So they don't label it as dark or underworld. It is like a totally natural, normal thing for them to have the upper dimensions with the grandfather and the lower dimensions down with the feminine. So it also shows that in like the tribes or in primordial indigenous tribes where they're living in totally tune with nature, totally in tune with Mother Earth, for them it's totally natural that the feminine is the region of the underworld. So I thought this was a beautiful description of there is nothing to be feared. There is nothing bad or dark or evil about us feminine being able to tap into the darker realms. We all have a psyche as humans, and we as women have this immense capacity and to tap into that, to really go deep, travel deep, understand us, tap into other realms inside of us and outside of us. So it is a really, really beautiful, powerful portal we as women are, and what we can use if we open up to this path. So every woman in this workshop, every woman who is open to this energy, you are opening yourself to so much inside of yourself and in your life. And yeah, as I was shown before, Manon, I saw you were out for a moment, but I will send you the recording so you can afterwards just go through the recording and look into the Pri tribe things. So you will not miss out anything. Happens to me sometimes too. It's okay. Exactly. So yeah, and as I was mentioned many times, and that's why a lot of you are here, it is to accept the dark and the light. And when we are suppressing the dark side of us, Carl Jung said we're suppressing half of us. So just imagine you as a woman, you as a person have a potential and a capacity and gifts and talents and emotions and much more, all in the dark that you suppress, which is the half of you. So there lays so much, and it is a really intense path to walk, like touching your own darkness, touching the parts that you had to hide in order to be loved. And even if I'm walking this path for many years, I will take this path into my grave. And it still comes up that I'm judging myself or some desires because I'm like, yeah, I looked into my shadow. I understood where it comes from, but now I don't live that out. And there's a really subtle line between bringing the darkness into your conscious, working with it, understanding it, and then we are coming into the embodiment, the integration, where we bring it into our lives. And I will go into another program deeper into shadows because it's a whole world for yourself, how to use the shadows more deep. But right now, it's just to be aware. The dark feminine is nothing to be feared. It is a natural energy that lays in every woman. And we can tap into that energy to liberate ourselves and really break through a lot of limiting beliefs that shrink us in this life. So it can manifest in your life as you, where maybe your voice was too loud and you received some point in your life that someone was saying, oh, don't talk so much, don't talk so loud, you are too much with that. So you lower your voice. And then you see another woman talking loud and then you're judging her and you're like, oh my God, I get headaches. This is so annoying. And actually it's your own suppressed parts of not being able or judged for being too loud. And I mean, this is a really simple, cute example. It goes so much more complex and deep. So if you start with shadow work, or if you start with this dark feminine confrontation, you will really you will start to observe and pause every time if you're facing another woman. Like for many years, I was realizing like I was in a space with some woman and a woman was triggering me. And I was like, she's annoying me. She's pissing me off. And now I still face that. And sometimes I come to the conclusion after a big phase of internal process to be like, no, I don't need to like everyone. Maybe I don't like her. But still, I try to go into the process of what is the parts in her that I would like to express, which I suppress right now in myself. Is this woman more confident than me? Is this woman living her truth out without being ashamed, but I'm too shy to do that? So there's so much where you will go on with this path just by knowing that now, by knowing that shadow projection is a really huge theme around women. That's the reason why we don't like each other. We are not in big groups of women. We are entering a room and we are feeling the energy of other women judging us. Like all this kind of projections that we receive, and also the projections that we give to other women. When I see like someone and she's like more expressive than me. And over the years, I was able of, because in the moment back in the past, I was meeting a really successful woman in her business. And in that time, I was shy and I was never really expressing my gifts or going into my self-employment in my leadership role. And she did. So I was really judging her and I was like, oh my God, she's so much in her ego. She needs so much external validation, like all these things. And what do I have in the end? I'm full of crunch. I'm full of hate. I'm full of anger. And these emotions are in my body, poisoning myself, disconnecting me from these person, disconnecting me from the true desire I have. And the moment I open up and go into a journey of what is this about, I opened up, and over the years, when I see other women rise or other women being successful, it empowers me, it is inspiring to me. So I'm able to use it as an uplifting energy inside of myself, because I know it is beautiful that another woman was able to put herself out there. Like we should empower each other as women. Like this is a world suppressing women to the maximum in every aspect. So if I see another woman lead and succeed, I want to be able to be empowered by it, to be inspired by it, and to be happy to see women rise. And this is also the work with the dark feminine into this whole womanhood, where we understand our own hidden suppressed parts in our shadow, to integrate, understand, and overcome them, so we can come more into unity and connection. And this doesn't mean that every time I see a woman, I'm like totally free of judgments and projections. They are still happening, but they are less strong, and I can more easily go through them. And in the end, I'm coming out with new understandings of my psyche and my blockages. Yeah, so as said here, whoever perceives both their shadow and their light sees themselves from two sides, and thus comes into center. So I'm looking at my light, I'm looking at my shadow, and then I'm able to meet myself in the middle. The unconscious is, in sense, the fertile ground from which consciousness grows. In the moment I bring back the shadow parts into my consciousness, just by going through that journey of, why do I judge this woman? Why do I feel that way? Why do I feel restricted in my body? Why am I shy to speak up in a woman group? And in the moment we put that into awareness, we bring it into consciousness, and from there, a lot of things can grow. And here I made a little cute, mood board just to present the dark feminine has totally beauty in it. It is part of our lives to die. It is part of growth to have the dark soil where you put a seed in, which is growing a whole jungle or forest out of. It is the web of the mycelium where everything is connected in a forest, where we are going into the earth if we die. So there is where everything is one. And so if we understand that death is nothing to be feared, it is part of life and part of the natural cycle of rebirth. And if we understand we can use it in an energetic level, we really grow and we really have a lot of opportunity. There is nothing to be afraid of in this world. If we know we are in our truth, we are in our heart, we are in our center. In the times when I was in the temple with my teacher, I had moments where I was really thinking we do black magic because it was all so powerful and new to me. And she taught me many practices to come into my heart. And since I did all these practices, since I did a lot of that journey, I never fear darkness anymore because I know I'm in my truth, I'm in my heart, I'm in my center, and all the demons that I'm facing are laying inside of me. And the moment I put them away, I let them in the unconscious, they can grow. And the moment I sit with my demons and with my dark sides on the table, I'm safe. I'm always safe. So it is really about seeing the beauty in death, seeing the beauty in darkness, seeing the beauty in all that the world and the womanhood and the mysteries and the mystic realms has to offer. And here's a little mood board just to have a little bit of the opposite. I hope it's, for me, it's not frightening to see the dark side, but I know for some women it's still a bit uncomfortable. So yeah, just feel into that. How do you receive the light feminine, the dark feminine? Do you still have some uncomfortable effects in your body and like, oh, I don't want to connect with that. I think it's bad. So just let it sink into you. And I mean, the light feminine is soft. It is beautiful. And we need softness. We need self-love. We need nurturing in ourselves and with others. But if I'm so much in my anger, if I'm so much in my suppressed rage that I'm just a really bitter person, there's no way to come into softness. And in order sometimes to come into community, come into love, come into connection, we need to use this fiery force to burn something to the ground. And also, we are women are not living in a world where we're all just fairies flying around. In the world, we are facing a lot of heavy things. Our emotions, things we are facing in our lives are not always easy. And we need sometimes this fiery force to burn them to the ground. Yeah. And yeah, female oppression, big theme. Like we all know the history of women, the witches burn, women got suppressed. I mean, it was not that long ago when the woman was finally allowed to have her own bank account. So we all are aware of the history of suppressing of women. And women are sacred portals. They give birth to souls on this earth. And they are the nectar of life. And so alone because of that, they are worthy and should be honored and not suppressed. And so we are tapping with the dark feminine into our personal story, what we faced in our lives where we had the feeling we are not accepted, we are not loved, so we suppress. So there is a personal energy we have to clear with this path. But there's also a collective energy that every woman is having in their body, in their DNA, in their energy field. So you are not only healing your own personal story and path with the dark feminine, you're also healing the collective energies. So that's why I know some women may be triggered when I'm saying this work is for every woman, but I know and I believe in it. This work is for every woman. Because even if you grew up with the most self-expressive feminine you are, you still carry a lot of energies of the collective where women were burned, killed, raped, still happening, but back in the times. And I mean, it's no coincidence that this is now a place all with European women. I travel through the whole world. There are many situations I could meet a lot of women from other places, but this work is always finding German or European women because this is where the most witch hunts were happening. And I know that this is running deep in our energetic and in our DNA line, in our mother line. It is really deeply imprinted in us. So even if we are not aware of, it can manifest through, oh, I don't like this other woman, can maybe also be a big, big, deep witch wound, or like casting someone else out, slut shaming another woman. These are all manifestations of these suppression of the feminine. And yeah, so also from the society really suppressed, really bad labeled our menstruation, which is actually the most powerful tool we as women have, where we tap every month into the underworld. We are able with our bleed to tap into the darker realms of our psyche. It is really the moment in the month where our energy is like open. This is why we are so sensitive and receptive to energies and also to our inner world. So if you're going through the journey with the dark feminine, during your bleed, it's the most powerful time to really tap into all these really dark, unconscious parts. And we have the different phases. Also, they are labeled in seasons. So the autumn is the phase before we slide into our period when we are in our winter. And the autumn is, for example, the phase where our psyche is the most active with our inner critic, also called the inner patriarchy. This is where all the voices, all the I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, my body looks like shit, I need to be perfect and skinny and productive and This is when this voice is the most loudest in our autumn phase. So it's before we go into the bleed. And if we are aware of that, I'm restricting my inner critic every week of the month, except in the autumn. In the autumn, I'm sitting in the dark with a candle with my inner critic, and I have a conversation in my journal or in meditation with my inner critic. And I'm really sitting there. I'm sitting there and I'm like, what do you have to say? Like, and then I just let it run through me, like all this limiting beliefs, all this bad reputations about myself, like all these things. I just allow it to be, write it down and go into a communication with it. And in my bleed, I can release all these things. I can really I went through the process. I made them more conscious. I was facing them. And then in my bleed, I completely released them. So it is really powerful to use our bleed, to use our cycle, and to understand that it's the most powerful tool we as women have to transform. We are going through a rebirth every month. So if we use that and if we are aware, we are really powerful with it. And now you have the understanding of the dark feminine, of all this work. I know it's a lot. It's really hard to break down. But it's important to understand, to really understand this intense power of the archetype, the energy it has. So we know now that there is this energy we can work with to tap into our unconscious, to tap into our fears, to tap into our limiting beliefs. And then we want to know more the archetypes and the dark goddesses that we can use in this journey to help us with guidance. And in the moments I'm hopeless, I don't know what to do anymore, or it's just overshadowing me, I'm working for years and like especially the past year, like this year was the most powerful, helpful tool for me to work with archetypes. I created a little group with women. I want to do this in the future too. It's like an archetype group where we are meeting every month and we are creating an archetype we want to work with this month. And I'm creating a vision board and then I put it on my phone screen or I print it out. And every time when I'm going through something, like I went through a few months ago, I went through a horrible heartbreak. I was crying for weeks. And then there was this point where I was like, I'm living in paradise and I'm crying my eyes out. Like, how long should I do this? And I had my archetype, the huntress, printed on my altar. And I was looking at my altar and I was seeing this archetype. And I was really feeling how I'm connecting to this energy, how I'm like putting these affirmations and these pictures that were really putting me back into my power. Like, wait a minute. You are this goddess. You are this force of nature. You are a woman. This is what you are able. This is what you can birth. And then out of that, I birthed my business because I was like, no, no more. I'm using this energy. I'm using this archetype. I am embodying it. I'm remembering myself and I'm putting it out there. So archetype work or working with deities and goddesses is so powerful because from my background of trauma therapy, I did therapy with my therapist for 12 years. And in that time, she was educating me a lot that I can understand myself better. And I was reading a book about trauma. And it says that it is study proof that our imagination can make as much damage and healing as things that happen in real life. So we can really heal or destroy ourselves just by our imagination. And one Hungarian practice is imagination. Imagination meditations, active imaginations, where we actively meditate with an archetype or an energy and imagining this inside of us, where we can really activate these feelings or energies. So in this drama book, it was, for example, mean that if you really have a strong imagination, and of course it's something you have to train and to teach like everything else in your mind and in your muscles, is similar. You have to do it pretty often to train your brain. But if you're able to have a strong imagination and you imagine that you are hugging someone or someone is hugging you, your brain is releasing the hormones, the same hormones like a real person in real life would hug you. So, I mean, it's something that we are not doing from one day to another. It's a process we have to strengthen, but it is possible to really work with our mind, to really work with our imagination, to find power and strength to overcome really intense situations and feelings. So the archetypes and the goddesses can be a powerful tool to overcome and to step into our power on our journeys with the dark feminine. We are going this path. We will face a lot of heavy emotions, a lot of heavy confrontations, and to be able to manage and overcome and integrate them, we can connect with these energies. So there are many archetypes, but I use the dark goddess archetypes and one Hungarian archetype, which is the white woman, because it is the representation of the wild, primordial, untamed woman who runs with the wolves. And this is exactly that kind of energies that is not accepted in the social realms. So that's why it's a powerful archetype to connect with, to really release your wild, powerful energy as a woman. So I will present you now some archetypes that I was picking and some goddesses, and you will go with your own journey with these archetypes, and you will at some point feel a resonance with some of them, or you can pick one that you already feel resonating with, and you can start to study that archetype. You can start to go deeper into that and really feel the resonance. And in the witchcraft realm, it is called deity work. So if you want to go into that realm, you can also start to make some research in that. So deity is a god or a goddess that you honor. So you are creating an altar presenting to this god or goddess, and then you put all the elements that is representing the energy of this god or goddess, and you're putting offering to that altar. So as I started this path with Kali, Kali is a Hindu goddess, the goddess of death, destruction, chaos, and rebirth. And she is that force that we can call in if we really want to destruct something in our lives. and we want to transform something new. Like we want to transform, we want to rebirth, but in order for a rebirth, we need to die. So this is the energy that we can call in with Kali. And I have at home, Germany home, I have a beautiful altar for Kali, and I have that for years. And it's always there where I have like a picture of her. I have like bones, black stones, roses if I have some. And also if I'm bleeding, I'm putting my blood to the altar. So I put all the elements that is representing her energy to help me to connect with her when I'm doing my practices. And when you are, for example, when I make my breakfast and I have some strawberries or a pomegranate, I'm putting some of them onto my altar, or I'm going out into the forest and I find a feather or a bone or a stick that looks a little bit in that energy. I put it to this altar as an offering. So deity work is really powerful, really, really powerful, where you have to aware that you are awaken a goddess into your life. So it is a relationship you're building, and this goddess can also be annoyed by you and push you a little bit to the edge. This is what the dark goddess is doing. She's like, oh no, you're a little bit too much in the comfortable. Here I smash something for you. So to be aware, it's not the light path, but it is a powerful path. Mm. And then I picked the Greek goddess Hecate because she's the triple goddess. She is standing for the crossroad between death and life, which is all what we are at the moment talking about. Okay, Joy picked also the Hecate card. Okay, I think, Joy, you have clear messages. Super clear messages what you have to do. That's what I mean. They come to you. It's so incredible. They're really presenting themselves to you in a really beautiful, prominent way. Mm. And I picked her because she is representing witchcraft, the magic and the medicine of woman. So if you are really new to this path of witch, what does this even mean? This mystery, this mystic world, potions and rituals and spells. And I mean, every woman is a witch if we open up to this path. And if you feel that you want to connect with that, go into Hecate, read about her stories, her mythology, her symbols. I have the symbols and the description in the ebook. So you can also, after that workshop, go through the ebook and read a little bit about this goddess. And as I said, she is between the crossroad of life and death. So she is protecting the realms of the living and the death. So she is also the energy we can call in if we need to learn setting boundaries, to be like, no, I'm here, this goddess, standing between the realms of the outer and the inner world, and I let you in or I don't let you in. This is in my power. I'm setting a boundary here. So if you really feel the need for setting boundaries, you can also start to work with Hecate. And also Hecate is representing the maiden, the mother, and the crone, which is also a really powerful archetype to work with during our bleed. The maiden is like the young, naive girl. Then we have the mother, which is like fully representing in her sexuality. And then we have the crown, which is collecting all the wisdom, like the elder. Wow, there's so much. I could talk for 15,000 hours about all of this. So I really try to make it short. And I will present you a program later after that workshop where I'm created, where I really go into a deep dive for a month. But yeah, so that later. I try to put it sharp as possible. So, and now we are coming to Lilith. I don't know if any of you ever heard of her. She is a Hebrew goddess or archetype or figure. She is out of the biblical context. And it is said that she was the first wife of Adam. And she was kicked out of the Garden of Eden because she was a well-behaved woman. She was a untamed, wild woman. And she is the representation of the sexual liberation of woman, or in general, the liberating of a woman, the self-empowerment of a woman. And I was working, and this is so amazing, guys, because I was not choosing, oh, I work with Kali and now I'm choosing to Lilith. It just happened. It happened to me. So I was working with Kali. Kali helped me to really destroy my life in this corporate agency, being in the Western masculine world, having a boyfriend, being totally codependent, being in addiction. And Kali was rushing through all that, destroying it. And then I went to the transformation. And then the past years through the temple and my teacher, I started to work with Lilith. And Lilith is really that archetype of I free myself. I fully liberate myself. And we as women, our sexual energy is our healing energy. And we all women have our sexual energy, our Shakti, our power center, where all our life force energy is coming from. And I'm working, as I said, in the temple of my teacher, we were doing Kundalini yoga and Tantra teachings and really working with our sexual energy to overcome trauma and to really use that energy. And this is another deep dive where I wanted to create at some point another program, but it is really intense, beautiful work of working with your sexual energy, liberating your sexuality, owning it, because there's so much shame around sexuality in this world. It is so hard for a woman to liberate herself with sexuality, to liberate herself in her desires, in her life. And so Lilith is for me a really presented archetype that I'm working with the past years and which is also right now guiding me a lot because I'm living so out of any norm. I'm so outcast on anything that it's socially accepted. And that's exactly the Lilith energy and archetype. And every time when I'm falling into some doubts or some fear, I call back Lilith and I'm like, no. Lilith was a powerful, beautiful woman. She was cast out of the Garden of Eden just because she didn't was willing to suppress herself and to lay down. And so I'm reminding myself that what I'm doing is in my power and it is okay. It is my truth. It is my desire. So it can really help you to go through these phases in your life and not fall into self-doubt. Yeah, so that are the archetypes that I just wanted to present to give you some energies. And maybe by presenting it, you already had like, oh yeah, this is really something that resonating with me. Or as Joy, she already picked some cards. So now you have the mind, you have the expanded consciousness of this path, of this work, of these archetypes. And to understand, okay, I really can embrace both the light and the dark aspects of myself. So, and now we will have a little break, just to give you all a little breath after I was talking for a while. And then we will go into the movement. And I know, for example, Joy, you are sick, so you can just do whatever you are able to do. You can also, as I said, I will send the recording after this session. And then you can do this when you are feeling better. So you can go, and also every one of you, we go into this somatic movement ritual exercise now, but you can do it multiple times and tap into it with the recording. Or if you have the feeling right now, you are tired, you're not in the mood, but still do it, still try it, still tap into it. It's just, for example, for someone like Joy, or yeah, that you know. So Lisa, I'm reading right now that your mom told you that she wanted to tell you, Lilith, wow, this is beautiful, Lisa. This is beautiful. I think it's already an indicator for you that there is something in your energy that needs to be awakened. And I'm a strong believer that, yeah, we have all these energies or reincarnations in us. So beautiful. Okay, so I would say I give us maybe, what do you say, 5 or 10 minutes? How long do you need to get ready for the movement? Maybe in the chat box or 5? 5 minutes? Okay. Then let's say we meet here again at like okay. Elia, no problem. You can leave. As I said, the recording will be available. So yeah, in 5 minutes, everyone comes back, gets ready. So get yourself ready to stand and move. So if you have comfortable things on, that's important. Make yourself space in your wherever you are. And yes, Lulu, the Lilith astrology is also, I will come to that later. I'm offering readings around that. I had a reading with Elia, but yeah, we will now try to go into the movement. So just get yourself ready, make yourself space, whatever you need, take a breath, drink something. I accidentally stopped the recording. So I will quickly say again. So I will play some music and you will just allow yourself to express and feel into your body and feel where your body is restricting yourself and where you have the desire to express your body even more. So really allow yourself to tap into your full expression and observe yourself in that expression, what is coming up for you, and then the music will lower down and we will connect and share. So really feel your earth on the earth, and your feet on the earth. And shake a bit, shake yourself out. And in the beginning, start to listen and feel.
Calling you by name in your most inconvenient moments. Trust her whisper can reach through the walls of your domestic life, arriving.
So really observe and listen.
We're not running it.
What is it activating in you?
Wild, naked with desire out of your life to meet her, tearing at your hair in ecstatic freedom. But eventually you will. We all secretly long to go howling, or sneaking off into the forest under the light of the full moon when our family has gone safely to sleep. We are wild insomnia. You cannot get this wrong, because the one stirring the fire inside, casting dreamlike shadows, has been waiting for you long, long time. Hair by hair, bone by bone, wild woman, reclaim your throne. Arrowed bows, dreams of crows, wild woman, come home. Hair by hair, bone by bone, wild woman, reclaim your throne. Arrowed bows.
And maybe try to crawl a little bit, just feel how your wild woman would express herself.
Woman, come home. Wild woman, come home. Tiny bones, toe bones, femurs and skulls, fish bones.
Maybe start to get into a more less controlled expression, shake a little bit,
suddenly stand up.
start to be a little bit less pretty.
Feet crumble and humble themselves near her fierce fire.
Feel the wolf, the earth, the darkness. Maybe you crawl like a wolf on the floor. Just feel, how would it feel to express like a wild woman who doesn't know social norms? It's just a wild woman in the woods. How does it feel for you?
Abandoned within my voice, finally, my howling hair, bone by bone. Wise woman, reclaim your throne. Arrowed hopes, dreams of crows. Wise woman, come home. Wise woman, come home. Wise woman, come home. Now my skin is dry, my body aches. My mind is like a caged animal clawing at my skull, dying to escape. Please, let me sit by your fire. I long to run with the wolves again.
And now maybe close your eyes and really start to feel into your body. What wants your body to make? And visualize maybe the woman back in the times being in their tribe around the fire. And just feel how would you move if there was no society telling you what is okay? You're back in the primordial times, you feel your body, you feel the drums, you feel the fire. How does it make you move? What is it activating in you? Maybe run around like a fire, like you're running around with your drive. And maybe allow yourself now to look ugly. Really let go of the pretty dancing. What happens if you really allow yourself and let it out? All the shame, all the restrictions, just allow yourself to go crazy. Feel the earth, feel the force inside of you, your whiteness, how it feels to be liberated. And shake it off. All the social norms, the limitations, shake it off. really think like, how would you move if you don't want to be pretty for a man, pretty for the others? Just dance, feel your body, let it all out. Just taking it out. Okay, someone say there's no music. So can everyone hear? It's still going music. Music, yes, no? No music? Okay, can no one hear music? Did we do the dance without music? We'll continue. So, yeah, you really liberate yourself, dance your full expression out. When thoughts coming up like, oh, I feel ashamed or I feel weird, just go ahead and feel into your body. How it does it make you feel? So now I'm sending the link to the playlist. Oh. This is the playlist, and let me know if you all have playlist then. And yeah, just let me know if it works. And we are at the Indian city. It's the third song. Third song. Sorry for my imperfection. That's part of my chaotic expression. Will work in the future much better. I'm really sorry. I hope you're still in the flow, in the dance. So Indian city. Maybe you give me a thumbs up or some sign that I know we are in it. I play it on my phone or like on my box so that I know we are all in the same loop. Works for everyone? Perfect. Okay. Amazing. So we continue shaking, going crazy to the drums, really letting your inner freak out, your insane woman, just like shaking, dancing, going crazy. Manon, I send you the link in, wait. Is it working for everyone? Yeah, and go into a self-exploration with the music. Just dance, play it by yourself, and just go crazy. Shake it out, and I will check with Manon. And really feel the craziness. Let it all out, shake it out, dance it out, everything. Go crazy. And let me know in the chat if everyone can hear it, have the song, so I know that we all can do the exercise. So just play the song again. No, the Tonatsin. Okay. Manon, and yeah, the other person just let the other song play, what's in the playlist, and just dance, and I will see what in the chat with Manon. By yourself. So really tap into your feminine, wild, weird expression and just go crazy and let it all out. How would you dance if no one can see you? How would you dance if you're a primordial woman? Like, how would you express like your wolf, your she-wolf, your she-demon? How would you express Kali? How would you express Lilith? Like, how would you express all these archetypes, all these energies? Express them all in the way you can imagination, close your eyes. And as women, we have this energy to tap into a trance state during dance. So really allow yourself to close your eyes, to move your body. And let's see, maybe it brings you into places and into visions you didn't knew before. How would it feel like?
Oh, and feeling how far you can go when you're grounded and you're connected to the earth. Your
And use your hand to liberate your limiting thoughts and swirl it around. Release all the energies from your neck and your head.
how much energy can you move when you know you have a safe body, a safe earth to come home to?
Also go into the growling, the earth, the wild wolf woman. Experiment everything crazy. How does it feel to be totally free, crazy, insane, labeled by the others, liberated, labeled by the true woman? Daughters of earth, free and wild. And observe if you get any visions or images in your mind. Anything offers from your subconscious, a reawakening of some archetypes or goddesses. Just observe your imagination, what's happening, what do you want to express, what is coming up. Like, be curious around yourself and your subconscious, what wants to be expressed, what wants to be liberated. And whoever has the playlist, go to the Blessings of Grandmother song. Because of the technical issues, we go a little bit quicker. But I will guide you afterwards in the email, some practices you can do after the workshop at some point. So go to the Blessings of Grandmother song. And Manon, for you, just visualize flute sounds or just get more calm. So now you were like in a lot of active, and now you just stand still and you really feel the force and the energy you will awaken. Really feel it, like really let it buzz through your body to understand the force that you can awaken, the force that's living. And then just listen to this music, which is connecting you with the grandmother and the earth, that you are able to transform chaotic, intense forces and transmute them into the earth. Whatever is there, just let it flow through your body. Just let it be. The sensations. And if it's something intense or something in your mind, give it back to the earth. And you can also still you can still moving a little slow, but really this disruptive change of intense movement to less gives you the ability to really feel the intense force. And sometimes when people do that in the dances in Pachamama, I feel like I'm exploding, like this intense force that I was awakening through the dance. So really feel into everything that's there. Feel into it. And feel the softness that is maybe running through your body, that you are able to have all the energies inside of you. And whenever the song is finished, there will be another song, and you just let the playlist run and just be with yourself, the energy, everything that came up. Just allow it to be. Just feel it. You are able to feel so much as a woman. Allow it to be there. And let the darkness song where she's talking, let this song just play full. Feel into it. Oh, it goes 9 minutes, so maybe we stop a little bit before. Yeah, just let it.
Beyond all our concepts of goodness.
We're gather sitting
beyond our hunger for
in 5 minutes. So let it be 5 minutes, sinking into the music, and then sit down and stop it.
There is something to hold on to, some certainty of hope we can trust and keep forever. The darkness says, everything is being swallowed by the great no thing. The forms you hold so dearly are in truth impermanent. They go straight into my belly of inconceivable infinite space. My wildness is beyond your comprehension. My infinity is relentless. My love is so strong, it kills. I destroy and birth without a care for meaning. I do not care to make you comfortable. I do not care to make this easy. My care is so total, it is careless. I am booming from beyond the beyond. I am turning with pure power. I am holding the all with terrifying fierceness, with unshakable tenderness. Even your most precious comforts, your most beloved beliefs will not escape my primordial vow. I am the holy ground, because there is no ground.
And slide slowly into a meditative state. Sit down, listen to the music, or listen to your own inner world for the person who has no music. We are going really into a meditative state slowly. And when the music ends, or like in a few minutes, I will guide you through the meditation.
But my true name cannot be spoken. I am the silence before sound exists. I am the moment of calm. A breath caught before the thrust of life began. You have made my name synonymous with what is unpleasant. But what is unpleasant is simply what you cannot bear to face. You do not want to see me, yet I am the truth that gets under your skin. You have called me evil. This has nothing to do with me. I am not evil, no. You call me evil because I expose what you do not want to see. So you have banished me, made me an enemy, something to extinguish. Yet I am relentless. There is nothing wrong with me, no, but I hold a secret truth, a precious jewel, terrifying to behold. You spend your days running from me, trying to escape what you already know. Deep down, you
And then slowly Come really into a seating position. Stop the music. And really close your eyes and still be in that energy that we are creating. Go into a comfortable seated position, cross-legged, straight spine. Close your eyes. And then observe all the energies in your bodies, all the sensations, everything that is alive right now. Maybe you're feeling the power, force still rippling through your cells. Maybe some heavy emotions came up, maybe some anger or disappointment, or maybe you feel a feeling of relief. Whatever is there, just observe and feel it. Could you sink into that experience? Could you allow to tap into some expression? What feelings and thoughts did you have during the exercise? Just observe what is there. And let every imagination come up. Maybe there's a picture or energy really present with you. Maybe a goddess visiting you. Maybe an archetype was running through your body. Whatever was awakened through it, a goddess, energy, emotions, let it all move through you. Allow it all to be inside of you and expressed outside of you. Just feel, be with it. Breathe, feel into these energies. This is the medicine of us women. We can tap with movement into other realms, into other dimensions, and into our subconscious. This is the gift we have, the medicine we can tap into any given moment. It is a practice. So if you struggle with it, just give yourself compassion and time. We can enter deep trance states through movement, through meditation, imagination. So open yourself to this new portal. You can tap into after the session every day or every period in your winter, in your bleed. Maybe observe yourself with the different states you have as a woman. I want to share the workshop, not the workshop, I share the program I created. After we open up this portal, we are starting to walk this path. We are cracking us open. We are starting the descent into the underworld and the things we were facing. So I will just present you the program. Can everyone see my screen? Perfect. So, because when we are in the shadows, like we are not in our really in our integrity or sovereignty. So I cannot really spell this word. But I you know the meaning, like if you're really in your authentic truth, in your integrity, in your sovereignty, to really claim back all that belongs to you. So this program is a 4 weeks journey. So it is like 1 month where we will really tap into the tools and exercises deeper, how we can handle when we are already starting this path with the dark feminine. We are facing our shadows and we want to transform and transmute our pain and our shadows into our power. Because as Carl Jung said, our shadows is where our potential lays. So in the moment we are bringing the shadows to the conscious, we can transform them and really get them into our potential. Because looking at my own life, that I'm here right now presenting this work, that I'm stepping really into my liberation and living the life I want, is just I'm just able to do it because of all this work and this path. So the darkness and the pain is now what is my potential. And you all have your own potential and your own powers, but you also have your own pain and your own limitings. So it is really a guided program where when you go through this path with these exercises and in-person workshops, we can really guide you through that. So it is a 4 weeks online lecture. So you have 4 weeks of getting online exercises, but also in-person workshops weekly. So it's 4 times in-group person workshops like we have here right now, but now this is a 3 hours intense workshop, and these workshops will go like 1.5 hours. And I will present some somatic movement tools, emotional release tools, and also nervous regulation tools, because we are reveling a lot of emotions up and then we need to deal with them, release them, but also soothe our nervous system. So I will share all this kind of exercises and also the inner child work, where, because when you're putting out your shadow with something, it is laying maybe in your childhood. So really to be able to have the tools to face all what you are going to face in the underworld, and also giving a lot of Jungarian teachings, which is the deep psychology with our psyche, to have a little bit more of an understanding why is it the way it is. And then of course all in the context of mysticism and rituals, because rituals are the way how the feminine can transmute these things, like coming out of a background with Western psychology, being in therapy for 12 years. But in the end, what was really helping me was bringing in the somatic, bringing in the rituals to give that energy some kind of expression. So it is a 4 weeks course. So the first week is really about going into the deep underworld, descent with the dark feminine, going into our psyche. I will share a lot of the Jungarian teachings. It's a lot of wisdom I collected over the years, but like to give it in smaller portions, it's over a frame of 4 weeks, because it is a lot to digest. And for us to integrate, we need to have the energy to digest. And then in the second week, we will start to connect deeper with archetypes. So you will find ways to really, which is the archetype you want to connect with. So I will present more archetypes in a more deep way and bring exercises for you to feel which is the right one for you to work with. And then in the third week, we really go into the shadow work. So we really go into all that we were like starting to understand and reveling up, really helping you strength and give you resources to go through the shadow parts of yourself and how you can integrate them. And then in the fourth week, we're really using all that we learned, and we're going through rituals and integration. And so you will get like emails with a lot of exercises and guided meditation practices, so that you're like, we will have the workshop on a Sunday. And then you get all the wisdom and the knowledge and some workshops together and movements. And then you have 1 week of exercises where you go into your own self-exploration journey. So you will really dedicate yourself to go 1 month into this path intensely, having some guided tools by the side. Because it's a path we can easily just stop doing. But then the dark goddess will knock on our door because we already entered the portal. And then maybe we are totally overwhelmed, don't know what to do, because it is an intense path if we decide so. So it is all the things that I learned, all the things that made me survive, that I just want to share in a deeper context. So yeah, it is a 4 weeks program with 4 weekly 90-minute group workshops, weekly email with exercises, a one-on-one call we have before the workshop. If you even want to decide if you want to join or not, we can talk in person, like, is there something you want to go through? And then also after the program, we will have a call. And I also offer a Lilith Astro report. I did that now with some women, also in Mexico with Elia, where I was looking into the astrology to have a deeper understanding of the blockages. And yeah, so there are fixed dates for the online workshops, but if you cannot attend these online workshops, you will get the recording afterwards. So you can sit at home and look at the recording and then go through your own week. This is how I did programs like this in the past by other women. And yeah, so it is a really intense, beautiful, packed program. And so because you're part of the workshop, I'm offering now the program for an early bird price, which is cheaper than the regular price, which is 222, sacred numbers, euro, if you sign up until 9th of October, or the normal price for 255. And also if some women want WhatsApp guidance through the month to have some questions or deeper guidance, there is another package. And yeah, so I'm presenting this program now because I just realized how deep this work is, how much guidance it has, and how much wisdom I have that I really, really want to share, because there are so many women out there like me being intense, impressed, having a lot of emotions, need to learn how to deal and release with it, and to have more guidance on this path. Yeah, and also as I did before the Lilith report to some woman in Mexico, there's also the option to just book a Lilith report if you just have the astrology support to have a deeper understanding. Maybe you're not already there yet to tap into your unconscious. You're maybe still in the dark with it. So astrology can really help to see what is something in your blueprint that is blocking you and how you can overcome it. It's also a really powerful tool. So yeah, you will get the offerings also in the email. I'm really excited to share that. It's a lot of work. It's a lifetime work and 5 years of deep, deep, deep studying. So yeah, it's from my heart, from my soul. And I just wanted to share that, and yeah, to see how deep we can travel together. Yeah. Exactly. So this is from my side. A lot I shared. I hope you're not overbeared with all these things, but give yourself time to digest, give yourself time to let it all sink, what you received now. And I'm really grateful for every one of you that was in this space. You're creating a collective healing energy with that for every woman to rise. So it's much, much deeper and much more than just for you or for something. It's for your grandmother, for your mother, for everyone before and after you. So thank you so much for being brave enough to be here in the space. It's a really deep karmic thing we are doing, even if we are not aware of it sometimes. So thank you so much. And if you have something to say, you're welcome to say. Otherwise, this is the closing now.